Bulavinaka, my name is Litia and I'm from the beautiful island of Laos and I love listening to Today FM. Today FM rocks.
My name is Casey, I'm from Tabua. We love Today FM in Tabua. Today FM rocks.
My name is Selena, I'm from Tavenga Vengamba. I love listening to Today FM. Today FM rocks.
Bula, my name is Carlo. I love listening to the music in Today FM, in Malak Island. Today FM rock.
Today's hit music on Today FM.
In the news tonight, families talk about two who perished in crash. One dead in afternoon Nandi crash. And Sami gets 9-year jail term for rape.
From the studios of FBC Suva, Jackie Spate.
Leading news tonight, attempts are being made to retrieve the plane wreckage of the crashed Cessna 172 training aircraft from behind the Laikoro mountain in Lambasa. FBC News understands the NFA rescue squad is at the scene undertaking the extraction work. The steepy rocky landscape and the location of the wreckage is making access to the bodies difficult. The police forensic team and pathologist are still in the Laikoro waiting for the wreckage to be pulled up. The bodies of the pilot instructor Iliesa Tawalo and trainee pilot Merile Sita Lutu were overnight under guard by RFMF officers and police. Police says there is a possibility that the bodies of the victims will be uplifted from the scene and transported to the Lambasa hospital where the post-mortem examination will be conducted. We now join Eleanor Tarangaivu live from Lambasa. Eleanor, as we speak, has there been any developments with the retrieval process?
Jackie, today has been a day of anticipation. Everyone anticipated the retrieval of the bodies of Iliesa Tawalo and Merile Sita Lutu from the wreckage behind the Laikoro Mountains. Now, the police forensics team and the force pathologist arrived into Lambasa at around 10 this morning and were put into waiting vehicles and taken straight to Laikoro to start their work. The NFA rescue squad also arrived at the airport and prepared for one of the most risky jobs that they would have to do, which is to retrieve the bodies from the plane which is stuck on top of some trees on a rock and rather rocky and a steepy mountainside. Now, the location of the wreckage is hindering the rescue efforts, and Jackie, we haven't been given any official update or briefing as to what's happening right now at Laikoro, as the media have not been able to access the site. We've been told that we are not allowed to go there, but we will only be able to do so once the independent investigator has completed his work at the Laikoro site. And the independent investigator, Andrew McGregor, he arrived into Lambasa this afternoon and has been given a briefing of the current situation at Laikoro, and we understand that he will be visiting the site tomorrow. So, Jackie, as night falls, we can only hope that the two bodies would have been retrieved by now and taken to the Lambasa morgue.
Thanks so much for that update, Eleanor. Trainee pilot Merile Sita Lutu was just a month away from obtaining her commercial pilot's license, something she always dreamt of as a child. She could have also celebrated her achievement with family and friends on her 21st birthday in June. However, this has been shattered. Akusita Tale reports the family is still in shock at her sudden passing.
Recalling the last conversation with the baby of the family, Andi Moala Lutu says her daughter called at 10:14 a.m. on Monday from Lambasa Airport, requesting her to call their relatives in Savu Savu to inquire about the weather. Little did she know this was the last time she would hear her daughter's voice.
So I called her back. She's still there. And then she said, okay, now we'll just fly over Savu Savu and go straight to Nosori Airport. And I said, okay, dear, just take care. And after that, then she told me, and then I told her, before you get into the plane, you pray. You pray first before you get in the plane. And said, okay, now I'll do that. And that's the last words from her.
Her father, Emosi Lutu, says they met Merile Sita at Nosori Airport last week Friday to have lunch with her while on a similar navigation exercise. Never did they imagine this would be their last meeting. His last words was to study hard and pass her exams.
We always encourage her to study hard and make sure she gets a job. I think we cannot be blamed for that. We've done our duty, and we just wish she's in a better place.
Being the youngest of 5, Merlesita always challenged her older siblings to aim high. Merlesita, as described by her family and friends, was a very humble and outgoing person with a bubbly character. Preparations for her funeral arrangements are currently underway. Ako si Tatale, FBC News.
I am finally at peace. These were the sentiments echoed by Moses Mbalen Rokandroka after receiving the tragic news that his son Ilyas Tawalo's body was finally discovered. The 59-year-old held back his tears as he shared with FBC News on what went through his mind when he received the news. Philip and Castle with the story.
It's been a tough week so far for Moses Mbalen Rokandroka, and with the news reaching them yesterday of the demise of their son, he says the family is now finally at peace knowing that his son will be coming home for one last time.
My heart is finally at peace as they have found Ilyas's body. The will of God has prevailed, and I know my son is in a better place now.
Holding back the tears, Mbalen Rokandroka thanked all those who were involved in the search and rescue mission. He says that what transpired in the past few days was through God's will, which the family has accepted.
I'm so grateful to them for giving their time and leaving behind their families in order to carry out their duty. And I pray that God will continue to bless them and their families.
The 59-year-old also thanked the country for their prayers.
I'm grateful to all those people who thought of us during this time. I know that we will accept what has happened and continue to thank God.
Funeral arrangements for Ilyas Tawalo will be decided after a family meeting sometime this week. Last night, the family was also visited by the Fiji Police Force and officials from the Pacific Flying School. Philip and Ikasu, FBC News.
A woman has died following a road accident at the Nandi bus stand this afternoon. Please note that viewer discretion is advised for this story. It's alleged that the woman was hit by a bus. Police say that the 2 women involved in the accident, with one admitted at the Nandi hospital. Police also say that according to the bus driver, the brakes for his bus had failed. The driver is currently in custody and is being questioned. An eyewitness stated that he heard a loud crash to which he rushed towards.
I heard this strange sound from the other side of the bus station where the Pacific and Sunbeam and Sunset used to park. So after that time, when I look over the other side, I saw this bus. He start to ram to the passengers who were sitting on the bus station. At the same time, I got this instinct to run over because I probably was the first responder. I might be needed.
Navua businessman Govind Sami was today sentenced to 9 years in prison after being found guilty of raping his 30-year-old housemaid. Sami was convicted of 2 counts of rape and 1 count of indecently annoying a person.
62-year-old Sami raped his housemaid on 2 occasions between 2014 and 2016. The court heard that Sami owned a 97-acre land in Rewanga, Navua, and he had employed the victim's husband as supervisor at his farm. Sami used to visit the farm and at times he used to stay at the farmhouse. The court heard that in 2014, he forcefully told the victim to take off her clothes, and out of fear, she did exactly that and he raped her. Sami raped the victim again 2 years later and also indecently annoyed her. The High Court judge said that rape is a serious invasion of a person's privacy and dignity. The judge said that Sami employs 45 people and the victim's husband during the trial had described him as a decent and good man. The High Court judge also labelled Sami as a wolf in sheep's clothing as he had breached his authority and trust as an employer. Sami has been sentenced to 9 years imprisonment with a non-parole period of 8 years. Pranita Prakash, FBC News.
The Ministry of Health has recorded 1,040 dengue cases so far. Health Minister Rosie Akbar says these numbers are shocking and people need to be more responsible. She says improper disposal of rubbish is the major cause of dengue outbreaks and people need to destroy mosquito breeding places.
We now have a recorded total of 1,040 confirmed cases of dengue in Fiji as of 23rd February 2018. Now that's a very large number.
Still to come, schools take part in tsunami drill and Fijians celebrate Holi. Stay with us.
Bula, kera mai singatoka, kera ndo tali taka na varorong na Radio Fiji 1 and Domoi Viti.
Ayaw na rin siya. Uti ko minasong buti ko lang ndo tali taka na Radio Fiji 1 kina Domoi Viti.
Ayaw ko yazo sila tali, nagurara may nawamanyi, nandunga. Gitu tali taki yang gitu pinasibale, nagudurong varorong na Radio Fiji 1 na Domoi Viti.
Na Radio Fiji 1 na Domoi Viti na ponga ni BNN.
In an effort to have better tsunami coordination and response plans, 5 schools in Suva undertook a tsunami awareness drill today. This was part of a project in the Asia-Pacific region aimed at mitigating the impact of tsunamis in high-risk communities. Kelly Vadalo reports.
These schools were given an opportunity to test their tsunami preparedness and evacuation plans at 11:40 this morning. Hundreds of students and teachers, along with authorities, were actively involved.
Today's tsunami evacuation exercise will provide a few schools with an opportunity to test their tsunami preparedness and evacuation plans. It will also give key responding authorities and the National Disaster Management Office the chance to test their coordination and response plans.
The Partnership for Strengthening School Preparedness for Tsunami in the Asia-Pacific Region project facilitates 5 schools in each country and currently includes 90 schools.
The project will focus on firstly ensuring that tsunami evacuation drills are carried out based on the existing plan that are prepared for the engagement of schools and local authorities.
In 2017, 6 tsunami warning messages were issued by the Pacific Tsunami Warning Center, and 4 messages were issued within the 2 months so far this year. While fortunately these warnings were no threats to Fiji, knowing how to respond to these messages is absolutely vital.
The Minister for National Disaster Management says this is the best way to ensure public safety and protection of properties and assets. There are plans of more schools, businesses and communities throughout Fiji to participate in similar exercises in the coming months. Kelly Vadala, FBC News.
The National Fire Authority and police have started investigating to determine the cause of the fire at the C.K. Patel building on J. Hanuman Road in Vatuanga, Suva yesterday. The NFA confirms they saved the building from being destroyed. At 6:06 p.m. yesterday, the Suva Fire Station received a fire emergency call and immediately responded. Upon arrival, the C.K. Patel building was on fire and found that Surplus Trading Company Limited, who was the tenant occupying a portion of the building, was fully engulfed in flames. The fire team quickly got to use deliveries of water from their fire trucks and stopped it from spreading to the adjoining C.K. Patel warehouse and their electronic business. Witness Hamza Hussain says no one was in the building when the fire started. However, the National Fire Authority was quick to respond and attended to the scene.
We got a call from Pacific Customs, which is next door, saying there's a fire at the back. So by the time we came, the fire started at about 5:20, if I'm right, and it was just too hard to control by the time it got there.
Town and city councils will soon provide essential services to nearby informal settlements. Local Government Minister Parveen Bala says councils should be prepared for this. Bala says after the formal subdivision, there are a number of informal settlements that will now fall within municipal boundaries and qualify for council services. He adds work has commenced in some of the settlements and for other settlement contracts have been awarded to consultants to carry out the engineering plans.
Upgrading program will include
proper roads, electricity reticulation, water, sewage, and drainage. I must say that there has been abundance of goodwill which our landowners have demonstrated and have entered into partnership with Ministry for Local Government for formal subdivision, which will result into a win-win situation.
Importation or usage of a particular type of cordless phone, the digitally enhanced cordless telephone or DECT phone, is prohibited in Fiji. Owners have been given 30 days to surrender any DECT phones or face a fine and perhaps imprisonment. Kritika Kumar reports.
During the interference caused by digitally enhanced cordless phones, users experience voice call quality issues, dropped calls and lost speech.
If you're on the internet, whatever may take you, a minute to download could take you 10 minutes to download. There is going to be a lot of buffering and you will feel like that there's something is wrong with the network when in fact it's the interference that is causing the issue. It's quite predominant in the Nandi area and in Suva area. So those are the two areas that we have screened with the TEF for now, and the screening exercise will continue for the rest of this week, especially in Nandi, Lautoka and Suva Nosori areas.
People using these interfering devices can be fined up to $20,000 or face imprisonment up to 2 years.
The public must know at this stage that it is an offense now for anyone to import or use DECT cordless telephone after this public notice or after the 30 days that we have extended to the public for the surrendering or the advice of the usage of this particular type of telephones.
Owners of the digitally enhanced cordless phones have until 27th of March 2018. Kritika Kumar, FBC News.
The Festival of Colours was celebrated throughout Hindu faith-based schools today. Holi is a festival of love, joy and happiness, depicting the triumph of good over evil. Students of the Rishikul Sanatan College in Suva celebrated the festival with poems, dance items, and Holi will be celebrated across the country tomorrow.
It is celebrated with vibrant colors that fill our lives with happiness to the core of our heart. It is also referred to as a festival of love and compassion. Celebrations are typically marked by splashing colors all over to everybody.
Turning to regional news, the death toll is expected to rise in Papua New Guinea following the 7.5 magnitude earthquake that hit earlier this week. 15 people have been reported killed so far, and now the road to the epicenter has been blocked by a landslide. In sports coming up ahead, it's all about the Vegas Sevens, and we have more, but time to welcome Rachel first with the latest in business.
Thanks, Jackie. Good evening, and coming up in business tonight. Resort plans $1 million renovation. And in growing Fiji, new dam for Waituri. Stay with us.
Moala ranalika o tikongona taunu singa toka ando talitaka na wakaronga ng Bull FM number 2 na serie.
Ya dora subuli kurnambili. Iborani batukara hambara binaranga. Do talitaki na wakaronga ng Bull FM number 2 na serie. Bula.
Bula FM number 2 na serie.
In business tonight, a multi-million-dollar development project has been embarked for the Shangri-La Fijian Resort this year. This comes after the resort allocated close to $60 million to renovate many of its facilities at Yanuda Island in Singatoka. Ali Kimbia with the story.
One of the oldest and largest resort in Fiji, the Shangri-La Fijian Resort has embarked on a new development plan to further boost its service delivery.
Well, in total, I can tell you for the lagoon area and here, we have put in about almost $50 to $60 million of the completion of this project. Of course, we looking at this year, we have another budget that we need to put in. So equally, it will come up with quite a lump sum, another millions and millions of dollars that we're looking into investing it.
Lee says they are moving in the right direction and want to become an even bigger player in the industry.
The good thing is we want to finish this by this year, 2018. Hopefully the project will finish by December. So for those who know this place, they will see a huge difference. Already we make a great impact with our repeating guests.
Opened in 1967 and employing people from the nearby villages, the new development is expected to provide more opportunities for locals.
And to have these developments coming in, it will help us in business-wise, and also to uplift the level of tourism industry here in Fiji, especially in service-wise and hospitality.
The new developments will include renovation of restaurants, building of new rooms, and adding more attraction for those who are staying at the hotel. Ali Kimbia, FBC News.
Rocco is here tonight with the latest from the money market.
Thank you. Let's have a look at our global markets today. Disappointing U.S. data released yesterday showed their gross domestic product for the fourth quarter was 2.3%, just below the 2.4% forecast. Meanwhile, the new chair of the Federal Reserve will deliver another statement today. Everyone awaits word on possible interest rate changes. Upcoming overnight are the U.S. manufacturing and personal consumption figures. Closer to home, New Zealand's terms of trade hit a new all-time high in the last quarter at 0.8%. It is positive in terms of national income and the economy's overall purchasing power. New Zealand exports were up 4.9% after gains were seen in dairy, meat, forestry and aluminium, while imports rose 4%. Tomorrow we should see how this new data affects the Fiji dollar. And that's all for now. Vinaka.
Thanks for the update, Rocco. Looking at today's current exchange rate set this morning for the Fijian dollar. The foreign exchange market saw the Fijian dollar on the rise against all but two of the currencies we cover, slipping slightly against the US dollar and the Japanese yen. Taking a look at the commodities market, all the prices were rather down today, as oil prices were down to close at $61.57 a barrel. Gold closed at $1,316 an ounce, and silver followed suit, closing at $16.36 an ounce. And in Growing Fiji tonight, residents of Waituri in Nassori will no longer have to bear the smell of the rubbish dump in the area. The Health Ministry is working at removing all the rubbish that had been dumped over the past years. Health Minister Rosie Akbar encouraged the residents to dispose household rubbish in the proper manner. She also encouraged residents to report people carelessly dumping rubbish in the area.
Today's disposal is costing us close to 22,000. We anticipate it might go further if there's more rubbish that needs to be taken out. But I can assure you, we will take it out. If it takes us 4 days, 5 days, if it costs us more than 22,000, we will take it out for once and all.
And that's it from Business this evening. Now to sports. Here's Jamie with the latest.
Thank you, Rachel, and good evening. In sports tonight, Fiji Sevens team win over new fans in the US, and bar football braces for tough outing in the north this weekend. This and more coming up.
मैं प्रेमिला वायरुकू रेकी रेकी से सुबह मेरी आँख खुलती है तो मैं मिर्ची एफएम सुनती हूँ। मिर्ची एफएम इज नंबर 1, इट्स सो हॉट।
हम लोग बार टाउन के कैरियर ड्राइवर लोगों ने हम लोग के मिर्ची एफएम सुनो अच्छा लगे। मिर्ची एफएम इज हॉट।
हाय, मैं संध्या नारिया रेफ्रिकी से मेरे सारे दोस्त मिर्ची एफएम सुनते हैं। मिर्ची एफएम इज हॉट। आई लव मिर्ची एफएम।
हमें स्पिन तो हुआ कि मिर्ची एफएम में सबसे अच्छा गाना बजे।
मिर्ची एफएम इट्स हॉट।
The Fiji Airways men's sevens side will have a special bunch of fans supporting them this weekend at the Las Vegas tournament. This after the side made a visit to students at the Harriet Treem Elementary School. Vasil Prasad reports.
Being home away from home, the Fiji Sevens team took time out of their busy schedule to visit these kids in Las Vegas.
As back home, we have some of us also have small kids like this today, and it will be a big push for us in the weekend.
It was also time for the kids to go through rugby drills with some of the best sevens players in the world.
So happy to be here today. We know it will be a big boost for us.
Coach Gareth Beiba was also actively part of the clinic and says it was a good way to get some R&R ahead of their weekend's battle.
I mean, the pressure is that the expectation rises. So, you know, we have expectations on ourselves as a squad as well. We know that what we did in Hamilton was of the quality that we've wanted to replicate throughout the season.
Let's ask these guys. Where were you born? Fiji. Where's that?
Pacific Island. Still unknown in some parts of the world, the national team at least can say they have added a new list of names to their fan base. Vashnil Prasad, FBC Sports.
Meanwhile, the Fiji Rugby Union has submitted its bid to host the tournament on the World 7 Series to World Rugby. They expect to receive a reply from the sports governing body by June this year. The Mba football side travels to Vanua-Levu this weekend for 2 Vodafone Premier League matches. Playing Lambasa and Riketi in 24 hours will not be an easy task, but the men in black want to ensure they return with maximum points. Vasil Prasad has more.
The Mba vs Lambasa derby has always been fierce and nothing much is expected to change when the arch rivals face off on Saturday.
This is not easy when we go to play North, and it's always a tough game, and it's very hard to play there because of the ground condition is also not very, sometimes it's not very good, and I hope that ground condition will be good, weather will be good, so that we can play our soccer that Mba used to play.
After a not so impressive showing in the OFC Champions League on the local scene, Mba beat Rewa 1-0 last weekend.
6 points is very, very important for us. So we'll do, that's what I'm saying, that we have to go by game by game, and we'll do our best to come back with the 6 points from Lambasa.
Lambasa, as usual, will be backed by a large home crowd support and knows what the task will be like on the field.
Good boost to go and play with Bakam next week. I think we'll come prepared, fully prepared, and hopefully we can do well in our home ground. There's always be the case, like with all due respect to Ba. I think our boys should rise to the occasion, and we need to play football if we want to win.
Lambasa faces Mba 1:30 p.m. at Subrail Park on Saturday. Vashnil Prasad, FBC Sports.
Former NRL and Kangaroos coach Matthew Adamson held a rugby league clinic at Nasinu Secondary School yesterday. Adamson, who mentored Fiji Mbati flyer Suliasi Vunivalu when he was in the Melbourne Storm under-20s, believes there are many more young players like Vunivalu in Fiji ready to be molded into champions. Eroni Tuinuku reports.
What Suli did was he listened. He listened to his instructions, he listened to his command, and then he went away and he practiced and he did repetition. And that is what then got him into winning a Lead Shields medal, premiership, recently a World Club Challenge against the Melbourne Storm. He played a part in that team.
He says Fiji is a breeding place for superstars and it needs all the support it can get.
Well, that's what's always exciting about young Fijian rugby league players or rugby union players. They're athletic, they're strong, they're quick and they're powerful, and they've got good fundamental skills. It's harnessing that skill.
Meanwhile, Rugby Plus development manager Malakai Yamaibaba hopes for more similar outreach coming in the country to help develop the sport.
We believe doing this rugby clinic in schools, in villages will help us see the untapped talents.
Adamson also donated sporting gear to the school's rugby league team as part of their preparation for the season. Eroni Tuinuku, FBC Sports.
A team of local boxers, including Olympian Winston Hill, will test their skills at the Kokoda Boxing Challenge in Papua New Guinea next week as they prepare for the Commonwealth Games next month. Coach Napoleon Taumoe Peau says the team that will compete in PNG is made up of Fiji's best boxers. Meli Tavanga has more.
Training has intensified for Winston Hill as he knows the time is running short before the Commonwealth Games get underway.
4 to 6 hours of training per day, 6 a.m. sessions followed by a two-hour session at 2 o'clock and a evening session at 7 to 9, working on skills, fitness.
Hill will be accompanied by reserve boxers John Ndavule and Nathan Singh, who have been drafted for the Games.
We've got a good, slim team preparing for the Commonwealth Games, and we've just rounded up the best in Fiji, and we're feeding off each other.
Taumo Piao says all 3 boxers still have time to prove their worth before the final squad for the Commonwealth Games is confirmed.
Nobody's guaranteed a spot as of yet. I mean, nobody can just say, oh, I've already qualified, I'm going to miss this many days, and that's not how it works. That's why we have a 100% attendance rate. And I'm real happy with the way everything's going right now. We have, I believe, the 3 best boxers in camp under one roof right now.
Team Fiji's trip to PNG will enable them to have a fair understanding of where their fitnesses stand before the April Games. The team departs for PNG next Thursday, and the bout is scheduled the following day. Melita Banga, FBC Sports.
6 players have been selected to represent Fiji in badminton at the upcoming Commonwealth Games in April. The players were selected after competing at the Oceania Championship in New Zealand last month. They are Andra Whiteside, Karen Gibson, Lisa Dean, Danielle Whiteside, Bertie Molia and Liam Fong. Fiji Badminton Vice President Ahmad Ali says the team has a good mixture of new and experienced players.
The women's team has done really well, so that's reflected in the team selected for the Commonwealth Games. We've got 4 women represented and 2 men, and that's a direct result of the outcome of the Oceania Games, where the women placed in the bronze medal. The men, we've got a really good mixture of youth and experience. Bertie Molia and Liam Fong are really good players overall, and Bertie will be able to assist Liam in terms of the competitiveness in terms of the Commonwealth Games.
That's it from Sports Tonight. Angie joins you later on with weather. And in the world of the weird and the wonderful, scientists have created a new type of wood that's stronger than steel. Yes, you heard that right, and you can find out more after the break.
Bula, kera mai singatoka, kera ndo talita kana varorong na Radio Fiji 1 and Domoy Viti.
Ayaw na rin siya. Usi kombinasyon mo tikola ndo talita kana Radio Fiji 1 kina Domoy Viti.
Kaya kuyazo sila tale, nagurara may naomanyi, nandunga. Gitu talita kini ang gitu Venezuela, nagudurong varorong na Radio Fiji 1 na Domoy Viti.
Na Radio Fiji 1 na Domoy Viti na bonga ni BNN.
In new media, if you think smartphone manufacturers have run out of brilliant ideas, you might just have to think again. From a phone that can drive to the one that can project 3D images, mobile phones is anything but mobile nowadays. It's weather time now with Angie.
Hello there and welcome to the Weather World. Not a favorable day across many centers of the country today, as it was mostly raining. Low-lying areas have possible chances of flooding, so keep the little ones indoors. Let's quickly check out the Western Division for today. Conditions were mostly cloudy with possible evening showers. Eastwards from Pekhabarasuva, it was a bit muggy, but showers actually cooled it off. And up north, quite cloudy with a shower or 2, and more showers are coming. At sea, northerly winds 15 to 20 knots with moderate to rough seas. For the tides, low tide tonight will be at 11:54 p.m. with high tide at 6:23 a.m. Sunrise will be at 6:09. For tomorrow, it's our favorite day, Friday, but it has rain in store for us. Tomorrow's temps, majority of the centers will hit the 30-degree mark. And looking further on to Saturday, more wet spells are likely. And that's all from the FBC Weather World. Jackie.
Thanks so much for that, Angie. In Fiji and Pulse tonight, we asked, what is your understanding of Holi?
Holi simply indicates that it is a festival of colors. It indicates that good wins over bad.
Festival in which all people come together and share their joys. And I wish all of them, all Hindus and Fijians, happy Holi.
Holi means it is a celebration of multicolors. It is like happiness, and we use the colors to signify our happiness, to tell people how happy we are.
Holi is a festival of happiness, and I wish all Fijians celebrate this festival together.
Recapping the main stories, families talk about 2 who perished in crash, 1 dead in afternoon Nandi crash, and Sami gets 9-year jail term for rape. Now for these stories and others, you can tune in daily to our sister radio station Gold FM. To our poll question this week, we are asking, should buses continue to carry disposable e-cards? Visit our FBC website to answer. Before we go, our shot of the day sent in by Tomasi Doraikula. This is taken at Nandaribatu. Remember, you can send us newsworthy pictures and videos on email fbcnews@fbc.com.fj or share it with us via Facebook page FBC News. You can also follow and tweet us your news tips at FBC_news or simply hashtag FBC News. That was your FBC News for tonight. From the team and I, stay safe. Good night.
Wrong on the radio Fiji 1 and Domoy Viti.
Ayaw na rin siya. Kombinasyon ko lang untuk tali tak na radio Fiji 1 kena Domoy Viti.
Kaya ko sila tali. Naguraramay na omani nandunga. Gitu tali tadi yang gitu Venezuela nangguntur rongo. Barong na radio Fiji 1 nandumoy Viti.
Na radio Fiji 1 nandumoy Viti na bonga ni BNN.